Good evening, guys. My name is Oteneko Oluwatobi. I'm sylvercodez on Slack. And again, this is my second live class with you guys. So welcome to my today's live class. And today I'll be taking you guys through media query. Yeah, so the agenda for today is one, what is media query? Then why is media query used? Why do you write a media? How do you write a media query? Then role of media query, then the final one, which is actually less code, because I love practical than just the talking. So as usual. So first, what is media query? Media query is a CSS technique introduced in CSS3. It uses the @media rule to include a block of CSS properties only if a certain condition is true. So media query are basically a way to write conditional CSS. That means CSS markups that the browser will only render if certain conditions are met. It's most commonly used is in responsive design, where it's a way to tell browser to change the display of website elements when above or below a certain screen size. Well, this is a little self-explanatory, but let me just buttress what this is about, because as usual, so this is when you have, because in your various tasks, you're given to make your website responsive. So the only best way you can actually make your website responsive without maybe using grid and all that is you using media query. So media query just like saying, I want to design my desktop, style my desktop different way, style my tablet different way, and style my mobile too, also in a different way. So the next one is why/function of media query. Media queries are a way to target browser by certain characteristics, features, and user preference, then apply styles or run other codes based on those things. Perhaps the most common media queries in the world are those that are targeted, that target particular viewport ranges and apply custom styles, which bettered the whole idea of responsive design. It was true media query that they saw, it was when responsive design came that they were like, oh, the only option that when media query came, they said we can actually use media query to do responsive design instead of just using media query to style. So let us make our website responsive. Because I know previously what we actually have on website, you see a website, the desktop is usually like the mobile. You will not see any difference, and most of them are just wobbly and they are not really okay. So with responsive design logic, so they could actually design something that you see very catchy, very beautiful, and different things when you actually move them. Then the next one, how do you write media query? So how do you write media query? There are several rules in CSS. For example, a call uses class. Oh, sorry, that's okay. Like dot class name. You know how you have, what is it called? Is a class actually uses dot class name. When you are trying to write your style, we call it class, maybe we call it class parent or main, then you go to your CSS, you do dot, then the class name, probably parent, as for you to style it. So also you have it in media query. But in this case, we use @media in media query. You then add the type of media you are trying to target and the future condition that needs to be met for the query to take effect. So with this, as I already said, you are targeting the screen size, what viewport are you trying to style? Do you want this thing to change when it's on this screen size? Do you want it to actually give maybe bigger font size or whatever design? Your custom CSS is always along that what is it called, the media query. This media query can use to style them. So there's just one rule of media query, which is the @media, then the media type, the media feature, then custom CSS. So I think with this, this is just the basics of. So I don't want us to do many talking. We are not performing what actually, because whatever anybody wants to see from you is actually the work. So the first thing we'll be building is this. We'll be seeing how we can actually build this. So we have something, let me on my inspect so that I'll be able to reduce my browser. Okay. So you notice this at different sizes, this thing is reducing, like the colors will change. At this screen size, let me try to get it, 992, it changes. So going further, if I should reduce it, going further, reducing it, it changes to yellow. Then I further reduce it, it changes to red. So, and it's just one HTML file, but because of the powerfulness of media query, I could style it like that. I could give it different background colors at different sizes. That's why you see some sites that, okay, when you check that move, their desktop view, you see them using a different kind of color if they want to, then maybe the font size and other things are actually different. So let's just build this and let us see how it looks. So the first thing is, and also when you're trying to do anything, the first thing you should first of all do is your layout. Like always get your layout first. So I just used, so this is my fresh, what is it called, folder where I'll put my file. So my first file is index.html. You can name it anything actually, but index is actually the main, like what major people use for their, to name their first page, and actually is what you choose for the first page. So I will still have my style too, my style.css. So let me call my index. Shift 1 will actually give you this logic, the suggestion. That's why VS Code is actually very good. So my first one, let me just leave this title. Then I have my, always try to wrap your things in div so that it's actually going to be very okay. So I have my first div. Then my first div, I had, let me see my design. I had an H1, then a P tag there. So H1, I don't want to type a lot of things. Let me just copy this same thing. Then Control V. Then I have my P. So P, let me just copy this again. Oh, sorry. So you have this. Then now, if I open my live server and I check this, this is what I will just see. I'm just seeing this page with nothing, but this is what I'm trying to do. So let me go on. If I resize, there's no background color in this yet. So for now, I will just do this. Come to my style. Let me close this up. I hope my screen is actually visible. Let me just increase it a bit. Okay. Oh no, it's too much. Okay, so I will style, because of this, I would actually just style my body so that you see how it looks. I don't style my div, I'll style my body. And if I want style any tag, I don't use dot. It's only class that use dot. They use ID, use hash for ID. So when I want to style a tag, I just call the tag by its name. So I have body. So I wrap this, then I call body. I give it a background color of, I gave it blue. So let me give it blue. If I look at, then let me give it a color of white. That's like the text color. So you will know. Background is used for back. Then whenever I set color, it's actually going to target the color, the text color. So I have this. Okay, I've not called my CSS here. So let me link my CSS, a shortcut, link CSS. Don't just always put this. It's always very good if you should use this suggestion, but at the same time, try to put it on your head also, so that in case VS Code don't fuck you up, you would know how, you know what to resort to. So if I resize this, there's nothing, just go to give me blue. But first, let me do my first. So now let's do our first media query. So as I said, from this class, I told you that to call a media query, I told you this is what I'm going to use. At media, the type, the media feature. So let me just do that. So I would come to my CSS class, then I will do my art media, then I have my screen. I already have suggestions already. So this screen, then and so I would have my what is it called? The type that I want to put it. So max width. I want to give it a max width of. I'm very sure you already know how max width work. Max width, max height, min width, min height. So you'd already have the knowledge about that. So I'm saying if I'm giving this one max width of 992 pixel. So what I'm saying is from 992 down, like 0 to 992. So let me just copy this, but I'll change the color. Let me give it a color of yellow. Oh, sorry, yellow. So 992 down. So let me go and let me check what I have here. Okay. Inspect. So at 992, what happens? Wow, it changed. So because of the power of that media query, and let me inspect so that you see how it's actually changing. I'll come to my body. So you see the color, see this background color blue that is here. Background color blue. Once I change, it changes to yellow. The media query overrides, then this one cancels that. Okay, this is what I'm using currently. So it's overriding. So that's how to override. That's one. So I can still style further. When you are trying to use your styling, ensure that you start from the highest. Don't do this. Let me show you. Oh, sorry. Don't do this. Then you come here, then you call 1000. Don't do this. Always ensure that you start from the highest, then you go down. You are styling down. Don't ever try to start from like putting an eye figure at the middle of your style. It's not good. Don't do that. So let me give this one, let me give it a 600 pixel. Let me give it a color green. No, sorry, I already gave green. Let me give it a color brown. Okay. So if I should resize, it's still going to be, you'll see the difference. So once it gets to 600, it changes. But there's something that I want to show you that so that you would not feel confused. I feel, okay, it must be media screen, blah, blah, blah. So let me remove this, what is it called? Media and screen, this. It will still work. It will still work. It's still taking it as media screen and it's still the same thing. So is either you use media and screen, sometimes you can even use only screen and media. They have different only screen and media. Is this screen only and media? Yeah, it will still work. It will still work. It's only trying to say that screen, that particular screen, then down. That's what it means. That particular screen, then down. Then now there's something else I want to show you people. A way to actually say, I want to style just, let's say 400 to 600. I don't want to give any other style. I want to just style my 400 to 600, and anything below that, I'll give it another color. Because you probably may say, okay, you just want to style, you want to constrain something. Probably you have a desktop view and you say, okay, this is what I want my desktop should look like from this screen to this screen. Or that's what I want to call my desktop. I want to give my own self breakpoint instead of using the normal, maybe just putting any other one. I want it that maybe from 400 to from 600 to 400 or whatever, any number that you want. So the first thing you always do, like I said, you always begin your CSS, whatever, with the highest figure before you go to the lowest one. So yeah, what you just do is, and when you write your and statement, the CSS already takes that, okay, yes, another thing coming in. Then you can put your mean width. That is what's the minimum width that I want this thing to be. I've already stated my max width. That means I'm saying from 400 pixel minimum of 400 pixels, then maximum of 600 pixels. So let me give it a, oh, what should I give it? Let me give it a red. I've removed that brown. Let me give it a red so that you see what will happen after it finishes. So from that part, if you're looking at this, my upper, what is it called, around this side, if you can see it, 400, when it gets to 400, it changes. It changes back to this. Because now is when what happens there is that it takes it that, okay, I'm only constraining this. So any of that thing, the main screen that this thing is focusing on after this is coming back to this one. So I'm reading this on this screen. But since I don't have anything below 400, let me take the nearest one, which is this. That's why you notice that from this, it went back to yellow. So, and yellow is actually above, this is actually for 900, but because of our constraint that, okay, I only want this color on yellow, on what is it called, on this screen size. But after that screen size, just go back to the normal way it behaves. I don't want it to behave any other way. Yeah, so this is the first way you can actually do your media query. So the next one I want us to look at is this. Yeah, it's actually the same thing. You look at it and it's actually the same thing. But there's something I want you to actually know. There are three ways you can actually call your media query. Then let me show you another method you can use in calling your media query. Let me call this in home.html. Then I have this. So let me use the same body tag. Let me use the same one. Let me use the same one. So there's something I want to show you. You can actually you can use two CSS during you want to do maybe this breakpoints thing. You can use two CSS in one HTML file. And maybe you want to make it that on your desktop, I want to call this particular CSS. Probably you don't want to jump back. You style your mobile different and you say, okay, I don't want to be using media query. I just wanted that I'll have different files so that if at all you want to change anything to be easier for you, then you can actually do this. You can do link. Let me call the CSS. Let me just call this one home or desktop.css. Let me create the next file. I'll show you in a bit. Then let me give this mobile. These are little things that you probably don't know, but it's actually okay. You just know them. You probably may not use it, but you actually still use them. So what you just do is call media here. When you call media, then you can call the screen. And you know the way you have this one is at media screen, and but this one you just use the media class. Then you say and then you call probably, let's say, the minimum width. The minimum should be, let's give it 610 or 600 pixel. Then we say this for this. Then on the other hand, I'll call my media. Then I'll say I'll give it screen. That's for my mobile. I want to call my mobile CSS now. Then I'll say max. Let me give it max. Oh, so I not put width here. Mean width. Then max width. Let me give it 599 pixel. So I have this. So now let me create my desktop and my mobile. So let me just do desktop.css, then mobile.css. So let me give my desktop, let me give it a color. Let me say body, I give this body for my, when it's on desktop, I say I want to give it a body of background color. Let me give it red. Then I say I would give it a color of white. Color white. I save this. Then my mobile, I would give it a body. Then I can say background. Oh, background color. Let me give it blue. Then I can give it a color of white also. Or let me just give it white more or any whatever. So I have this. So let me open up my home dot. So you remember I made this media query. I called it here in link. You can actually use link to actually call your media query. So let me open up my live server. So I have this to be read. This is red. Let me use this better. So when I come to 600, it's still red. But let me go back to 599. So have you seen? It changed. So it's saying I'm using now, it's calling the other CSS file. I should be able to see it from here. It's calling the other CSS file. There are two CSS files here. So it's calling the other CSS file when it's changing. It's using red, but on this screen, it's using yellow, blue rather. So that's one way, one method you can actually use in calling your CSS file. You can actually probably call it from the, like calling it from the link, or you call it from using media query. You can use media query both on the file and even as inside your CSS. So it works, it's the same thing. But for good reasons, I feel you should always stick to media query for now. But when you feel that you want to style different screens and you feel you want to give it different, maybe you don't want to jump back your CSS and be putting breakpoint everywhere and there, then you can do this using this other method. Then let me go to the third one, another method, what again I'll be showing about media query, which is this. There's something they call landscape in what's it called? Oh, sorry, in CSS media query. Landscape simply means once it notices that your width is smaller than your height, it would change. That's the meaning. So once it sees that this is almost same, like the width is still more than the height. Look at it from here. You have 600 width and 500, but immediately it comes lesser than the normal height, which is like 5. Let's go to 500 higher. It will reduce. So if I do this, so this is it. I'm trying to, if I should pull up my height, I'm reducing my height, the same width. So I made my y to be smaller. Then it goes back that okay, it has acknowledged that okay, yes, my what is it called? My width is smaller, like the height and the width. The height is actually larger than the height. So let's code that. So let me just call landscape. These are different ways you can actually use CSS, but on conditions like the what CSS, what media query actually said, what it means. It says you want to style on certain condition. So that is when media query can actually come in. So you have this. Then for the landscape, it's actually very easy. Let me just call my tag. Let me just call this my body that I've been using. I hope it's not tired yet. Okay. So let me just paste this here. Oh, I think I did not copy it. Sorry. Let me copy it. Okay. So landscape. Control V, Control X. Then let me call my landscape.css. I don't want to, because I probably may release the source code, but I'm not so sure yet. So that's why I'm not trying to jump pack it to cancel anything yet. I may drop and I may not drop it. So it depends. So I have my landscape. So what I will just do, I'll just call, let me give the body, let me give it a color of background color yellow. Then now for me to call my landscape, what I just do is I need two things. I don't need the max weight or whatsoever. What I need to just do is media, at media. Then I have only screen. You can do only screen, sometimes matters, sometimes doesn't matter. And then I have something they call orient. Did I have any suggestion for it? No. Orientation. Then I have landscape. Okay. Then I have this opened up. This is just what I have. This is what I just call for that. So it's something that you probably won't work with, but maybe there may be a time you would actually work with it. If you need to style something like that, probably just want it on this kind of screen. Then you don't need to like say on, you don't need to be doing max width, max height like that. So if you want it in the kind of certain kind of screen, so I just put this one to be blue. So let me open up my, this is it here. Open live server. We're just even start. We're just okay. I've not called the landscape CSS. Sorry about that. So landscape CSS, I've not called it yet. So I'll just say link CSS. Then this is landscape. Yeah, I feel I might get into okay. So I have blue here. So you see that the same way I actually showed you that previous way. Yellow. Why? What did he notice? He's noticing that my width is higher than my height. But the moment my height is higher than my width, then it changes its color. It changes color. It takes the background. So you can actually even style. Maybe you want to be a surprise or something. Maybe all this gift stuff that you feel okay. It's only you want the person to look for how to actually get something only at that moment. Then you are just games or something. But landscape is actually something very fun, but it's not something you should always use. Only if you actually need to really use it. So that's that about landscape. Then now what I've just been doing basically is just the basics, like the beginner basic of what's it called, media query. Yeah, let's go into other fun things in media query instead of just doing the color things. And this would actually even assist in your assignment also, if you are good about it. So you have this. Let me take it back. Four column, you have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Then going like this is reducing. Then when it gets to 1, it reduces, like it comes down. So this will help you in your assignments also. So how this is being done is actually media query. That this media queries work. So let's just build this again. So let's see and see how, if you know the fundamentals about how media queries works, like you don't need any other thing. If you can understand that, then you are good to go with media query, because you would always need media query to do responsive designs. Aside you want to go into maybe React, maybe because now right now React actually have what is it called, the grid system, where it's actually very easy to make your mobile, desktop, do all those. But at a point, you would actually still need to know media query. But if you don't understand the basic about media query, then it will be very, very difficult for you to catch up with that. So it's always very good advisable you actually put your hands and try to make things responsive as much as possible. So let me just, okay, we're not getting back, we are getting into the, like, a little tense part, like the places where you need to understand, but there's still something in front that I would like to show you guys, and I think that would be very awesome. So let me just do column dot HTML. Then I know I still need my column dot CSS, so let me just call it column dot CSS. Column dot CSS. So okay, so let me call my column dot HTML. So I have my column, sorry, link CSS. Let me just call column dot CSS. Okay, so in this, I also want to point out something, because I noticed that I hardly see people trying to use There's another type of CSS, a way of calling CSS. So I actually feel it's always very good. You actually know that also, because I've not seen a lot of people calling that. So I have, let me call my Dave. As usual, I like Dave so much. I like wrapping my things in the container. So I have Dave's tags like Dave, header, main, footer. Please don't use them as content tag, in the sense that Dave, then you start, this is a boy. Don't do this. Ensure that you have maybe your tags or whatever. Call the tags, they're writing it. Don't write in main, Dave, what is called that, just that section tag, that they're containers. So just take them as containers. They're not things that you should be writing things into. So let me use my H1 here, and let me just copy. I don't like stress, so let me just copy this. Then I have my P tag. Then let me see. What did I have there again? Okay, this is actually bold. So let me just copy all these first. You already know your tag, so I should not be particular about talking about tags. But I just felt I just want to make this one bold. So I can just use my P. Is it necessary? For time, let me just, I don't want to waste time. Let me just leave it. Okay, so then the next one I want to do is, let me call my column. So I have this Dave. So let me call my column. So I would have this. So I'll say Dave. Then let me say, how many Dave did I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That means I have 4 column Daves, like 4 columns. So let me continue. So I would have 4 Daves. So this is another Dave. So let me just let me give it a class. Sorry, let me give it a class of column. Class column. Then I would have my what tag? Let me give it a H4 tag. H4 tag, let me call column 1. Then the next one, let me just add, okay, what did I add here? Okay, some text, let me just copy it out. Oh, that doesn't want to copy, let me just leave it. So that's my P tag, and let me just say some text dot. Then I don't want to go through the stress of copying. Let me just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I just need to change is this. This is 4. This is 3. Then this is 2. Let me see what I have with this. Oh, I've not opened it up. Let me open Live Server and see what I have. Wow, something very horrible, I guess. Not looking fine at all. Oh, see how it's just lined up. But I want it to be straight. So what will I do? So this is what I would do. First, I'll go to my column.css, which is this. So I'll do this. What is it called? You would have been taught all this already from the previous class, and if you know, but I don't want to read this class is not to go deep into CSS, but it's actually to cover the things that are not be taught in CSS. So you should know what border size, box sizing is, which you have border box. So let's continue. Then the first thing I want to style is my column. That's what I'm really particular about. This column that I gave, this class column. This is what I want to really style. So I will just have my dot column. I want to give everything a width, like equal width, and I know that the best way I can give them equal width is to, this is 100. I divide it by 4, then I can give them 25. Then I will say width of 25. Let me see what I have. You won't see anything actually. So I will do a padding. Let me give it a padding. Let me see if I think it's okay if I add the color so that we'll stop bothering ourselves about how it looks. So let's just add the color to it. So let me give it one color so that you see what is actually changing. So let me just do the normal like each color. So let me give style. Let me say background color, yellow. Oh, sorry, to be inside. Yellow. Look at this. Um, this background color blue. Oh, sorry, blue. Then let me do the next one. Style background color red. Then background color. Let me give it a green. So let me see what I have now. Oh, I have this. Oh, I think I should give it some padding so that it will look good as this. Where is it? As good as this. There's a padding here, there's a padding here. So let me just give it a padding of 30 pixel, or let me give it a padding of 20 pixel. Okay, now better. So there's one last thing I will just add to it that I want it to actually emulate. That's the float. The float, you know what float does? Make something to just move like to the left or wherever it is. So that's it. So you should know about this already. So I'm only trying to do the media query about it. So all those other ones are the basics that have been taught already. So it's actually very fine. So let me resize this. It's not responsive. So it's moving. So the only way I can make it responsive is using my media query. And if I at all I want to use my media query, so what I will just do is come to my styling. As normal, I'll call my art media, which is very key for the media query thing. So screen, then I have the and then I have my max weight. Let me say I want to give when it gets to 1000, it should change. I want to change the weight, like it should change. I feel it should be like 2, not more 25. So I'm dividing into 2. So let me say 1000 pixel. Then I call my column. All I just need is just to call my column. The class that I'm trying to style. Then the class I give it a width. The beautiful thing about what is it called? You can style as you like when you're using media query. Like it's actually very awesome and makes your website responsive. So with 50, I come back here, then let me do this so that you can see what this T4. But once I put it on 1000, it's going down. Once it gets to 1000, it drops. It becomes 2, like 50. That's what happens once it comes to 1000. That's one powerful thing about media query. You can style your thing down. However, then if I still continue resizing, then I see that at this place I know that if I have more text, it won't look okay at all. It will look very horrible. So what I will just do is come here, I will style for their style again. So I can just style for 600. I do my 600, then instead of this, I just put 100%. 100% means take everywhere in the screen. So this is it. When I put 100%, it takes everywhere. So it becomes 4. So that tax that you're giving just the 3 days and all that. So the idea is just get your, what is it called? Put your normal 1 to 3 column. Then if you are resizing it, just use your media query, then reduce the width if you want to. That's the best way you can actually make that work the way you want. So when you know that is at the screen size, instead you should make it at mobile, it's just 1. At desktop, there are 2, so you still be 3. So but at what is it called? Desktop is like larger, at tablets is like 2, but on what the assignment they give you, the instructions are written there. So that's actually very fine. So we've been able to do other methods of what is it called, of media query, but it's actually always very, before our time runs out, I want us to actually build something very cool and awesome. I want us to build this. I would ensure that we are very fast, fast as possible. Then I want you to take note of some changes there. So first, it is like this on desktop. On my normal desktop, I think the best way you can actually see this is when I do this. Okay, yeah, cool. So this is it. On my desktop, it's like this. Let me bring this down. Let me reduce this. I just hope people can see my screen. So it's like this. There's a sidebar, there's this. But when I start reducing, I reduce, then it changes. Then I have it to be flat. That's taking on that position when it reduced. So I have this to come like this. Then still note these two things. These two are still like this, but when I reduce further, it breaks. And also it even it added the margin top to it. There's a margin top to it. That means I can add other styles to it. I can still come here and say, when is here, I want to like change some things, or I want to even hide this particular. Don't worry, I would ensure that we hide this particular part at when we are done with everything. So we notice all this. So this is already like this also. Like everything is now straight. So it's responsive, like responsive. This will actually help you for your tax also. Like it's just one side, just straight. Nothing like when it's like this, is like splitted. So this one cool way you can actually do responsive designs also. If you can even do this already, it's sure you'll be able to be the full functional website regarding the design. Then you would actually be able to figure out the designs with the knowledge you already have. So the first thing I would do with this is let me just create I would ensure, because this class should end in 15-30 minutes time. So 15, because there's another class after now. So let me just call this my, what name. Let me call it grade.html. Okay, great. So I have this because this is actually going to be awesome. Let me close this my tab. I should have done that ever since. Okay, so I'll just call this my normal way, shift one. So that's very, very cool way to actually call your HTML structures. So I have as normal, for the first thing I have is I have a div here, I have a div here, I have a div here, then I have a content, a content here. So let me just call the first div. So I will just say div, the first div. So I call the first div, then I give a h. What should I give it? Let me give it a h2. Okay, h3 came. So I'll give it, what is the thing I wrote there? Let me just copy it. I don't like typing things, so pardon me for that. So this is just a h4 content. Oh, I gave it h3, don't mind that. So then there is a color here. Let me select the color green. It's always very good. The tool I just used now, Figma people will know it. So this is, what is it called? Color picker. So you can search for it, Chrome color picker. I think it's called Colorzilla. Yeah. So then I have my color to be style. Let me give it a background color of that color, I copied. Yeah. Then let me save and open my live server. Then I have this. It's not looking very okay like this. So I think I added a padding to this. There's a padding here. So let me add a padding of 30. Let me add a padding of 30 to it. I hope that's not much. padding of 30 pixel. Let me see. Oh, that's kind of much. Let me just reduce it to 20 so that will actually fit in. But well, these are not the major things I want us to see. So we have this. Then my H1 is actually in the center. So I have my style. Then I say text align center, which will push my text align center, which will push my content to the center. Yeah. So I have this. Then the next element I would have is the header. I will try as much as possible to be as fast as possible. So I will just reduce let me just keep adding this. So I would have the header, which is class, and then my H1, let me name it header. Oh, sorry, header. Then I give it a p tag. Oh, I don't know what to write here, but it's okay. So let me see what I have. Yeah, this is here already, but I want it to be in the center as the first. So what I will just do is I use this here. So don't let me style this other one the same way. Let me use the class, normal class, the same. Or you can even use this. Call your style here. But I would don't want us to use this because I would not want us to just have plenty styles everywhere. Well, since style the normal CSS at this point. So let me just come to my query.css and do .add. I do my .add. Then I give it a background color of blue. Then I want the text to be aligned center. Text align center. Then let me give it the color, the text color of let me save this. I see what I have. Or I think I've not saved something. This is .add. Okay, I've not called my grade here. Sorry, I don't know why I do forget that. So let me put my grade here and save. Yeah, it's there. So let me add my what's it? There's like a padding. Let me add my padding to this so that it look better. Where is it? Grade.css. So I will just say padding 60 pixel. Oh, let me leave this. Then also you can notice this, see this called this, what is it called? Always ensure that whenever I'm making a site, remove all these unwanted spaces. So just call your body and do this. Margin 0. That's what you need. So it has removed that my unwanted space that was there, the white color that was showing here. So I have this now. So the next thing then these are the main thing I want to style. So I have but this is responsive, this is responsive. So let me style this, which is like navbar link. For basic, for if you are starting your this thing for the very as the basics, you can actually use this kind of logic to do your navbar, but it's advisable you know how to do the normal navbar. That so you have this, then you have your div, then you have .nav. Then I call my A, then it's going nowhere. Let me give it home. About contacts. So the nav bar should be there by now. Okay, yeah, it's there. So let me style this a little. My grade.css. So I have this. My nav, I call .nav. Then I say display flex. Background color, this. But I would like to style my A tags differently. So I can just say dot nav. But if at all you are actually giving this, you can actually give it a class. But because of time, it's actually, let me just go straight to the point so that we would not have to waste more time. So you have these, you have your color, that's the text color. Then you have your padding, because I would want to give it a padding. But if I say, let me save this so that I'll show you why I want to give it a padding. See how small it looks. So the padding will actually adjust it to give it a better look. So let me just give it a padding. Padding top of 16 pixel, 30 pixel. Then I save. Then I come here. Okay, the color is not actually, the contrast is not okay. So let me just change this aquas to green yellow. Okay, no, it still be the same. Let me give it red. Sorry, red. Okay, I have this now. I don't want this underlying stuff. I don't like it. I hate it. So I have my text decoration as none. Okay, awesome. This is now okay. So now let's go back. Let's go to the main view, which is this part and this part. To make this responsive, I will know that I'll need a property called flex. So the flex would actually be able to bring this to its own width, whatever flex I give to it. Then I can give this one the other flex too. So what I'll just do is, I'll come back to my index.html. I'll come back to my index.html. Then I'll give it div. I'll give it class name of row. Then I have two divs there. I have one at my left and one at my right. So I'll just give it left and right. So let me just say div dot left. Then the second one will be div dot right, which is right. Okay, so let me style this, but you will not notice anything yet. So I would add small thing here. That would just be, maybe, let me give it a H3 and say about me. The right one, so let me give it something that says, what should I put? Let me put it as H3 my job. Okay, let me just leave this. So let me style this so that I'll get the size of what I want. So what I'll just do is I'll come to my CSS, then I'll call my dot right, dot left. I can give it a, what's it called? Let me give it a flex of 30%. Then I have dot right, which will take the other space, which is flex of 70%. But note, if I should do this and I save, then I open, okay, I've already opened the live server already, and I check my output. This is where it's going to look like, which is not what I want to do. So the only way I can do this is actually with the use of my the border box that I call there. So if I do this and I say box, which is actually saying take the full width, like equal, I want equal width on them. That's the meaning of this border box. But if you read deep about it, you understand it. Box sizing box. Okay, I've not called my row. Sorry, I missed out. Abi, let me see. I've not styled this row. So I will style my row here and just say display flex, which you already know what display flex does. Display flex to take both content and put them like side by side. display flex. Because of the flex property I'm using, I'm going to say flex swap. Because of this flex property that I'm using here, so I'll say flex swap. From here, what flex swap means is controls whether the flex container is single or single line, multi-line, the direction of the course, that which determines the direction new line I start. Guys, I want something side by side. That just it. So I'll just say it as wrap. Let me see. Yeah. So this has moved to this side, and this has moved to this side. This is taking 30%. This is taking 70%. Let me just add the background to it so that you see it. Let me say background color red. Then let me just give that. I will still remove it now. Background color blue. Okay, you've seen it. So now let me continue making my stuff responsive. This is what I'm trying to achieve. I still have a little time, but I need to be as fast as possible. So I'll just do this. I'll write all this. So I'll call the image about me, photo of me. So I have this, which is like p tag. Everything I just a straight line. I think I need to do this. Sorry. Oh, okay. I'm trying to resize my screen so that it be lot easier. So I'd have this, my grid. So I'll just write few contents about me. Let me just write all the content I think I would need. So I'd have my p tag that says photo of my house, my future house, dream house. I'm still dreaming though. So then I would have something called image, img. Then I will put dot slash. I have not called any image yet. Say I would ignore the image part, or let me just see if I can get the first image. I think I should just ignore the image part, sorry. But I'll put a fake image like right up so that it take just the width. So let me just say, let me give it a div here, the class image, then I can say, yeah, I'll just call it my image. Then I also, yeah, I will need to give it, let me see. It won't show anything. So let me just give it a style and give it a background of gray. Background color gray. This is not the main thing that we're trying to do. The main thing is actually the response, which is actually very minimal. So we have the background of gray. So I have this. Then I can still have, then let me continue with my vice. Let me look at what I have here. Okay, I already have this. Something is coming up already. Let me just style this image real quick. Let me give it a height of 300 pixel. Okay, so let me continue with my other text. I'm not sure I should style all these other ones. So I'll just only use this. This is what I need. So let me just copy this. And say, I'll wrap this in a p tag. Then let me wrap this in a h2 tag. Then this in a p tag. Let me wrap this in a p tag. So I have this. Let me see my output. Okay, this is it. The height looks too big. Let me remove that height of 3, or let me give it 200. So let me leave that. So I'll just only do this part. I don't really need anything here. So I think this okay. So let me just style this other part of it. The remaining part is just calling of my image. This remaining part is just calling of me, same style. So let me do this. Let me do the title heading. Let me copy this out. This is my job part. Let me give it a p tag. Then let me just put this. Okay, then the next one is I'm trying to put what is it called, 2 divs side by side. If you look at what is there, this is 2 divs side by side. Then let me just call, so it's a div. Let me give it a style class of box. Then I now call, let me use the same fake image stuff. Control V, Control V. Okay, so I have this, but let me give, I want to give this one another class. So let me give it, oh, this class must end in less than 15 minutes. So I'll put this, let me give it a style of box 2. I don't need to give, I want to just show you something around this side. So then what I'm going to have next is, let me see, do I need to style the other ones that are down? I don't really need to style all these ones. So I think this is just enough. This is enough to cover up what I need. So this is the output for now. Let me style this and give it different color. Let me give this one yellow. I'm just adding color riot here, but it's very fine. It's fine, sha. So let me go and style. Let me start styling up my classes. So I'll open this up to my left so that I will know what I want to style. So in the first part of what I want to style is, I've styled my row, my left, okay, yeah. So what I want to style next is, let me give this my left a padding. That's this one here, because it's not looking like this, it's looking too close to this stuff. So let me just add a padding of 20 to it. Padding 20 pixel. Then the right, so let me give it a padding of 20 pixel. Okay, this is much better, but the image is still, this is taking blue. Oh, I should not give this one blue. Let me change the color of this from blue to green. Okay, so what I will do now is, let me style up the first thing I will style up, you have styled my this, so is my box. So let me style up my box and just give, the box is very easy to style. Just display flex, blocks, box, display flex. This should bring it to the middle, like, then I see how it looks, but that's not what I wanted to achieve. So as I gave it display flex like that, the box, okay, this is fine. So should I, let me add a width, let me see, width of 100%. No, but let's leave this. When I want to style the image, from the image part of it. So let me style up my image. I have image, oh, sorry, dot image. Then I have the image to be, let me give it, they've already given all of them background. So let me give the image a width of 100%. Okay, yeah, the width of 100% has given it, like, it has structured it back. But still, let me give the image a padding of 20 pixel. Okay, that's giving it is now, it looks more better. So now what I want to do that is left for me is to make it responsive, which is that media query part of it. And it's very, very easy to do the media query part of it. The first thing I want to resize is when this thing shrinks to a particular screen, let's say 1000, it drops down. Like when it gets to 1000, oh, when it gets to 1000, it gives me another kind of structure. Like it just comes 1 1. So what I will just do is the first thing I will style is call my media at media. Very important, you all, or I always do that. So at media, oh sorry, screen. Then I have so the first thing I will do, I'm giving it a max width of 1000 pixel. Then I say I want to give the what am I styling first? These two, and these two are inside where? Let me see. They're inside my row. So what I'm styling is the row. I've given the row display flex. By default, display flex means flex direction role. That's the meaning. So what I'll just call here is display flex, flex direction, column. This is all flex direction, a column now. Flex direction column. Something is wrong here. What is this error about? Okay, sorry, I have not called my row. Row. Please, can that person please mute his mic, please? So I have flex direction column, which is this. So at 1000 flex direction column. Yeah, so this is what happened. Flex direction has actually brought it down for me. So I have this. So at 1000 it reduces. It reduces. So what I want to style now is this. So I want to give this one at 800, it should break into two. So what I will just do, that one's a different style on it. So let me just copy this. I do like writing things, but it's actually very okay you write it. So you have, let me give it some 700. What am I styling? I'm styling this box. So I'm saying box at 700. At 700, it should reduce. So at 700, it has broken into two. But I can style further. Like you can style your this thing further. In this, or is it called? Don't say one media query for one thing. So I can still come to this my media query and say, I have something they call box two. This is it here, box two. So I have this box two, then I do like this. I do this. So let me put the dot. Okay. Then I say, I want to even give it imagine. I don't give the first one imagine, but I want to give this one imagine. At this point, I don't give it imagine of 30 pixel. Margin top of 30 pixel. So when it reduces, it gives it a margin of 30 pixel. At this point, you won't see it, but when encryption can, you see that 30 pixel on it. So the last one I will do is just this nav bar. Yeah, it's not okay. So it's making this thing float out. So instead, what I will just do is I'll come to my nav bar part. I can add it. I can add it to my, what's it called? My box two. My box part rather. So if I want to add it, it's very easy. I just use a comma. Then I do dot nav. Yeah, it's already like this. Then I can say I want to put it in the center, which should just be very easy for me to just say. Well, I'm to do that. If I'm to do that, what I will just call is from this side, I'll call it test align center. Where is my nav? Nav. I can do it from here. Text align center. Yeah, so I think basically we've been able to cover, yeah, it's in the center now. So that's how to do responsive. With this, if you can know this structure, you are good to go to do anything responsive because this is fully like it's responsive. Aside this, maybe this one, but I don't think there's going to be a screen like this. So say, and because of the header, it's too big. But you can also see style. I want to do one last one, which is there's under one styling this thing that you can do media query. There are a lot of things you can do with media query, different styling. I want to style this class. Let me give it a class of text. At 700 that I call here, I can still come here, do dot text. There's something they call, you will notice that when you go to some people's sites, you will see some things on desktop and you know see it on mobile and you'll be like, how did this thing disappear when you're trying to resize it? It's just the same this media query. So we have something they call display. I can do display none. Display none is simply means don't display anything at that screen size. So when it gets to 700, when it gets, yeah, I've not saved something. Text, more text. So where's my more text? I'm not saying, okay, the more text has actually gone. Yeah. So that's what display none does. Okay, it's around here. Yeah. This more text is after this some text, la reception. So this is it. After the reception is always here. So that's one cool thing you can do. Then you can even increase your font size, probably name font size. When you are here, you just like want to restyle things. So you can do a lot of things here. You can give it a font size of 40 pixel. Then let me just remove this display none so that you see it. So at this also screen, it should be like this. It's big, but when it gets larger, it becomes small. So these are ways you see that on it's just one same design, because I don't think anybody would actually design desktop, then go back and go and design mobile. No, it's just one design they do for desktop and mobile, but what they do is the CSS. So it's a media query that is making it responsive, changing the text, making it smaller when it's on desktop, when it's on mobile, but on desktop, they give it on that font size, they give it on that font family if they want to. So that's just basic. If you can do this basic, you are very good to go about your media query and responsiveness. So I don't know. I know I would have a lot of questions or a few questions or even no questions. So I think I should ask, is there any question? Like, I don't know. Can I get questions if there are? Okay, what's the use of FlexWrap? Yeah, FlexWrap is just, let me show you. Where did I even use that FlexWrap? Okay, I used it here. So FlexWrap, if I should remove this FlexWrap, you will see the function of the FlexWrap, because I prefer you knowing the function than knowing, because it's the function that you need. You don't need to know it. You need to know what it means, but the function would explain what is it is used for. Let me just put it this way. I'm not sure you say it. When you're calling flex, it's actually ideal. You actually call this flex wrap. Hey, sorry. When you're calling flex, because the function of flex wrap, what is written here from the definition controls whether the flex container is single line or multi-line. But I'm actually using a multi-line, so I'm trying to like stack it together so that nothing would break, something will overflow from one or the other. So that's just what flex wrap does. It does not allow it to overflow. So I don't know if that answered that person's question. When I styled the nav bar to the center, you didn't put it under the media query. Won't it affect it? How it looks on BC? No, it won't. It won't. It won't. Yes, it's been. If I check this, this is where it is being constrained to. Okay, I'm opened already. Let me scroll up. It won't. It won't see. Have you seen? This is just the way that is taking. I not give it 100%. What is it called? So there's nothing like 100% here. There's no width of 100%. If there was, that may be different. It's not even doing anything yet. So it won't. Your question, if you actually put that, like where I put text align, it won't. It will be the same. It's taking this width size. If you can see, it's stopping here. Like this is just the width. The remaining ones is actually just there. So then my question is, what's perfect screen size target? Yeah, there are different, what is it called? Breakpoint size of screen. I know that a normal mobile phone is around 420. Then you have from 0 to 420 or above that, but most mobile phones are around 420. So I would always advise you that target 600 when you're standing for mobile. For some mobiles, probably those that are using mobiles that are like tablet that are like mobile. Then you have a tablet screen which is around from that 600 upward to close to around 900. Then you have desktop type which is around that medium desktop like from tablets, which are like laptop size. So you would get them from around 1024 thereabouts. So you have the same mobile, this mobile, 320, this is another mobile, this is another mobile. Then this tablet, 768. Then you have 124 for some system, then 140 for the larger system. Then some kind of world screens, like my system screen is actually, my other system screen is actually 260, which is something like, which is very large. So it's like 260, very, very light, very light. So always try to like, when I'm making media queries, it's actually advisable that you style for 140. Always put your max width to be 140. Max width, like whenever you're styling. Then let me say another question. Again, how can you position image in the flex item? How can you position image at the top, bottom, right or left within the Flexbox item? Am I sure I understand this? How can you position image in the flex item? How can you position in the flex item? I'm not sure I fully understand this. Does media query apply the same way even when the layout is grid, display grid? Actually, no, display grid, as I said, display grid is actually very, very good. That's when you have to put your maybe one fraction, whatever. With grid, you can make your things responsive without even the use of media query. With grid, you probably may not need media query, or aside you want to style other few things, like maybe the text color, but if it's a layout with grid, you don't really need media query. So is there a standard or preference for responsive design like styling for mobile phones using minimum weight, max weight? Yeah. Mobile phones, you can actually start. It's actually advisable. What they advised for people when I do desktop first. It's actually like a bad practice, but I'm comfortable doing that. So, but it's actually good to start for mobile phones. But if you're comfortable doing desktop, don't let anybody pressurize you. Mobile first is actually very good also. It's actually the real what you're supposed to do. So mobile first. Then every class you create and style must be at media query, right? Where every class you create and style must be in the media query. Not every class is only when you want to style you want to maybe make something responsive, then you can actually put it in media query. It's not every class. You can call a class and just give it like that. Same thing on desktop, same thing on mobile, like that. You will notice my image, I did not, aside this one, my normal image, aside that I have to call it this box, I did not put it in my image class, I did not style it, I did not put it on media query. It's not everything here, there's nothing like left, so it's not everything you put on media query. So that's it. I think that's all for the question part of it. And the person that actually asked what is it called, please just tag me on what is it called on Slack. I will try to answer your question. Hopefully, you explain better, so I'll be able to understand what you mean. That's the question on again, how can you position image in the flex item? How can you position image at the top, bottom, right, or left within the Flexbox item? So I think I don't really understand what you mean by that. So feel free, my DM is also open, so ask your questions. So I think that's all for the class. If you have another question, please tag me on Slack. I will ensure that I answer all various questions that you have regarding this. Probably other questions. So yeah, thank you very much.